All right, everyone, it is 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and call the July meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first up is approval of the meeting agenda.
Second.
Keith and Kyle, all in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0. Next on our agenda is the consent agenda. Any board members with any questions?
Only thing I'll highlight on there is the School Administrators of Iowa. None of them individually are over $10,000 or anything, but all of the quotes combined is for the upcoming conference that will be in the beginning of August. Just last week we had SAI came with two presenters and did the 4 essential roles of leadership from Franklin Covey for 19 of our administrators in the district. And then the last part is just the annual membership. So altogether, it added up to more than 10,000 by a little bit, I think. But it's a variety of things there, and SAI does a great job supporting us. So lots of great feedback from our administrators from last week.
I just have one thing. I just want to bring attention to the facility rental agreement that we're entering into. One thing I would want to see is Scott's brought it up, and so I want this $36,000 in rental fees to ensure that that is being allocated for the auditorium continued upgrades that we need, flooring refinishes, whatever we need. That's where I believe that money needs to go. So that's not a very cheap facility to run, and so if we have these revenue streams coming in using that facility, that's where it needs to go. So thank you.
Officially, it's general fund revenue for us, but yes, it is a priority to update those things.
Yeah, and I think my only thing, Michael, that I asked you about, and just to kind of reiterate, was, we have some other activities that happen on Sundays with, soccer games and football that uses the field out there, and I just wanted to make sure that we're going to have adequate enough parking for that, and make sure people aren't coming and going kind of and ruining anything by any means. And not that I think that it will, but I just want to make sure that it's all going to be good for both parties. So,
well, and the hours that they're planning on using the facility is 7 to noon, and so we have been pretty, especially last year, we were pretty adamant that on Sundays 1 o'clock is the earliest that we allow, even the stadium usage, because last year they did have some youth football scheduled for 11 on Sundays, and we told them, hey, tell the league, bump those games back, and so they did comply. And so hopefully this next year we don't have any issues with soccer or football trying to be before 1 on Sundays, which should give us a little bit of a buffer between. I think they said that they'd like to hold quarterly members meetings that would potentially extend past that noontime, but we'll work together, and we got a lot of parking spaces here. We just got to get people to the right areas when needed.
Anybody else? Any questions in consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Keith and Iker, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Before. All right, which moves us to, just make sure I'm not skipping anything here. Public comments, communications.
The one thing I will add in, IASB has started reaching out with dates for the upcoming school board elections. Since this is an odd year, we will have 3 open seats. The initial date for picking up the signature pages is the first day of school, actually, August 25th. And then signatures and the other required documents are due by Friday, September 18th. People can reach out to myself or Sarah Aspengren with any questions.
Sarah, were any other public comments received? All right, thank you. All right, item 6, Director of Construction Superintendent reports. I don't believe there's anything in Director reports, which puts us to construction report.
Okay, hey guys. Should be a quick update for you, but if you haven't had a chance to walk through the CTE edition, we're making a lot of progress. Ceilings going in, carpet going down, final paint being done. So really pushing on track for that substantial completion date, July 30th, I believe it is. We'll also be working with the school, getting some equipment moved in that needs electrical hookups like welding booths, stuff of that nature, tools over there, and furniture will be coming in next week as well. So sitting in a pretty good spot for that one, get you guys in there for the new school year. And then the fields, we've got a couple of punch list items remaining out there, working on getting those wrapped up here in a timely manner, so we'll keep on that. And other than that, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, I think we're right on track where we need to be.
All the exterior stuff around the outside of the fences where we did some of the hydro seeding and stuff, is that now transitioned to our team taking care of as far
At the
as
fields?
Correct, yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
So that has not been accepted by the design team.
Okay.
We took a chance. We're right on that seeding window there in the
Yep.
Spring. Took a chance. We've had some good rain. Some of it's come, some of it hasn't. So we'll hit this fall seeding window, which opens, I think, August 10th, middle of August, and we'll get it reseeded, and then let it grow.
Okay.
What does that look like with all the broadleaves and stuff that's pretty much taken over where it hasn't grown?
Yeah, we're gonna have to address that, and there's a couple different ways we can do that. I drove by that on my way up here, and I was gonna ask the contractor if it's okay to run a mower over that real quick, even though some of the seed comes up. Sometimes they don't like to do that because it disturbs the new grass, but we're gonna have to reseed anyway. So that's probably what's gonna happen here before we go to reseed it. We'll have to evaluate the grass situation. You don't want to go disc up the whole thing and put down new seed, so we'll have to look at that. There are some herbicides that are approved for use on those new seeds, newly seeded ground. So there's some options. Yeah, it is something we need to get addressed.
The other question I had is, what did we come up with that low spot that holds water on the concrete? Should be just west of the boys' batting cage?
Yes, that is. We had a survey done. There is some review we need to do of that with the contractor. Not to get into too many of the details, but we're trying to decide which bid package is responsible for that. So we are looking at that. We have been engaged with RDG. There's a potential adding of some drainage on the west side of that sidewalk to help with that a little bit. So we are in discussions with that. We do want to get that wrapped up before we come through and reseed everything else one last time. So that's kind of the timeline. Now that the fields aren't being used as much, we can get in there and start adjusting that, and then follow behind here middle of August with the reseeding.
And then on the south side, I just want to make sure that everything is good and looks great and/or is sturdy and checked off for the cross country that'll be also utilizing that backside of the baseball fields and softball fields. So
yeah, we will go. I haven't been out there on the south side of that pond yet, but yeah, we'll go take a quick walk through there and make sure that'll probably be honestly part of RDG's acceptance of the seeding, and we'll walk that area. Yep.
Back to CTE, so there's 124K in this update on open and pending and approved change orders. That's not listed on as the grand total? Is that what that number is?
That is a number that has been approved to date, including what was approved in the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then below it though, so then down in the notes though, it's current contingencies at 76. Was that remainder on top of what's been now currently approved? I was just trying to make the
Yes,
math work. Okay.
that's, yeah,
Okay, so there's another 76K
yes,
of outstanding contingency that's not
Yes.
attached to anything that we've approved currently.
yep.
Is there any other major risk areas that we've got for that 76
We,
from now to close?
I wouldn't say major. We do have some changes that we are working through. I think, yeah, with the electrical ones that got approved today, those are kind of more major than the ones we have coming. Trying to think off the top of my head. At the top of that list, I tried to list out some that we're still working on getting pricing. I don't think those are any major ones, and I apologize that didn't print out for me up here, but
Yeah, no, for open, you just had, there's 3 masonry header on wheel and wall sealant.
Yep.
Overhead door support, which is 2,400, and then fire extinguishers. But the first one and the fire extinguishers had $0 on there, so.
we haven't gotten pricing
Yeah.
or final pricing on that yet.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I.
Nothing major, but there are still some changes that will go against that
Okay.
remaining contingency.
And then as far as contingency out here, is there, do you remember what where we were at approximately with any leftover?
I believe we ended without the scoreboard. We were left with about 70,000, and we still have some changes we're following up there that we need to get ironed out. I think we're going to end up at about 50 there. Again, that was
And then the scoreboard we're
This-
talking is the back sides of the scoreboard, or what's the?
the whole scoreboard.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So we
Without
paid for
scoreboard.
them out of contingency
Got
with the understanding that if things go well, we're going to have money here. If we need to spend the contingency, we don't want to be sitting here and you saying, hey, we don't have any contingency left when we spent 90.
Okay, but
on
the
that.
left, so when you're saying the 50,000, that does not,
That
that's no cost being pulled out of that for the
Correct.
scoreboards.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And what was the total for the baseball, softball scoreboards?
For the boards, it was like 89,000.
90?
Yes.
Okay.
So 40 in the hole. But
everything.
again, when bids came in,
Agreed.
we were on the good side.
Yeah,
of things.
so obviously we'll, utilize whatever we need to, but then that's where I was curious where we were trending over here. So if in the end we still, whatever, 30, 40 over here, 30, 40 over here, 50, whatever the number might be, we might hit just about right.
yeah. And I would say sitting here, I mean, we're at the end of July. I would like to say the goal by next board meetings, we've kind of got all that stuff ironed out, so you guys have a good idea. If not, before then, and I'll make sure Michael's kept up to speed on all that.
Sounds good. I was curious though, and this is from one of the change orders for over here. So there was the 13, that 13.9.
For
So this was,
welding,
yeah.
electrical.
So how did that,
So that was called a bogey during design. The welding booths that we ended up needing was not coordinated with the electrical drawings that were bid. So when you guys ended up ordering the welding booths that required there's an individual hood for 2 welding booths. We had to run power to that on a switch. The welders, we had to up the amperage, so I'm not sure.
yeah. So either,
Wire size increase and breakers increase, so that's where that cost came from. That was,
gotcha.
we knew what we needed on bid day, and drawings were bid accordingly.
Yep.
When it came down to it, we needed to order the welding booths. It was a little bit different, so that's what that's coming from.
All right, sounds good. So there was already dollars there for some electrical. This is just on top of.
Yes, yeah, increased wire sizes, increased breakers.
Additional switches, whatever you had to do.
Yeah, and then we added some switches for those hoods at each.
Okay.
Like I said, one hood serves 2 booths.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Thanks for the questions. That was fun.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, moving forward, superintendent report.
Well, since I'm before public comments by the board, I'll be the first to congratulate our softball team on the exciting victory today, coming back from 4 runs down in the last inning of regulation, the 7th, tied up. A lot of fun. Best of luck come Wednesday. Make sure you beat the Lancers. Next up, want to thank our maintenance and IT departments for all the work. Really over the summer is their time to make hay. The west renovation, we have all the new carpet in. Some things that still need to be addressed with the carpet, but for the most part it's in. Paint's done. Ceiling grid is being worked on. The new LED light fixtures are in a good chunk of the rooms, and then cleaning the furniture and getting it back in the room. So that project's moving along pretty well. And then just all the IT stuff that goes along with it, running cabling for the speakers in West, the new scoreboards going up in the gymnasium and at the stadium, and all of the electrical and contract work that goes along with that. So thank you to our IT department and our maintenance department for all their efforts there. And then the last thing I'll mention is August 20th. Is the date that we are going to have our ribbon cutting for the new CTE edition, 6 o'clock. That is open house night for the secondary, for the middle school and the high school. And so in conjunction, when people come out for walking around, figure out where your locker is, where your classes are, go ahead and stay, and we'll have a brief ceremony in the new edition. Again, that is Wednesday, August 20th at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Klein. Moving on to new business. First up is approve miscellaneous fees for 25-26.
You'll see a lot of the fees have stayed consistent. I will highlight the ones that are going up a little bit is instrument rental fees. They were $55 per semester for tubas and bari saxophone and bass clarinets. The cost of those instruments has continued to rise to where some of those instruments are $6,000 instruments, and renting them at $110 a year, it's going to take us 40 years to pay for instruments. And so incrementing that up $10 a semester, so it would be $130 for the year, and then along with that, the percussion fee did go up $10 for the year. But other than that, a lot of the miscellaneous fees are staying the same.
Motion to approve the miscellaneous fees for 2025-2026.
Second.
Kyle and Matt, all in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0. Item number 2 is approving school handbooks. Just to clarify, we can approve these all together, correct? Any updates you want to focus on?
Nothing substantial to them. Changes of names for our coordinator in there. Mr. Blackmore is obviously no longer with us, so Amelia Clark being named in some of those. Having our new deans listed in the elementary handbooks. Middle school did add just some clarifying language on what kind of beverages are allowable, and not having students drinking energy drinks during the academic day at the middle school. So some teeth to that one. But for the most part, just cleaning up updates and then a little bit of language that goes with new law as well.
Make a motion to accept the updates for Norfolk Elementary, Norfolk Middle School, and Norfolk High School handbooks for 2025-2026 school years as approved and approve as presented.
Second.
Iker and Kyle, all in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0.
Michael, just one comment on that. I've had multiple people, like, I think the start times, as we're getting closer, we should probably start regularly putting that out just
Yep.
to get it really sunk in people's minds.
So in the elementary handbook, it does have that the buildings will open 15 minutes before school starts. So at West and Central, that's 7:35 for the 7:50 start time. Big Creek building will open at 7:40 for 7:55 start time. But yes, we will continue to push out start times, as that will be a big change for people this fall. Good feedback.
All right, item number 3 is approval of employee handbooks.
Variety of updates in here. Some language in the classified handbook on allowable uses of dock time and unpaid leave. Well, we did add in there transition from sick days, that if people are being capped out on number of sick days they have because they've been here long enough and they've had really good attendance, that there is ability to convert to some personal time to be used in there. And then just cleaning up language for a lot of them.
Motion to accept the updates and approve the handbooks as presented to the administrator and directors, classified staff, certified staff, and substitute staff in the North Polk District for the 2025-2026 school year.
Second.
Motion by Kyle, second by Keith. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, item number 4 is approval of mandatory program coordinators.
As I kind of referenced earlier, Mr. Blackmore filled a lot of these roles for us as the Director of Student Services. Not having a exact one-to-one replacement, Amelia Clark, who is our HR specialist, is going to fill the role for a fair number of these, with me as an alternative for level 1 investigator. And then, as we've approved over the last number of years since I've been here, Jim McDonald serves as our level 2 investigator.
All right, so any questions or? All right, let's see. So we can do all 3 of these at the same time, or all 4 at the same time, or do we do each one? All right, so motion to approve mandatory program coordinators, civil rights, affirmative action, equity, Title IX, Title VI, Title 11, Miss Amelia Clark, homeless and migrant coordinator, Miss Amelia Clark, level 1 investigator, Miss Amelia Clark, alternative, Mr. Michael Klein, and level 2 investigator, Mr. Jim McDonald, for the 2025-26 school year.
Second.
Keith and Kyle. All in favor?
Aye.
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 4-0. Which moves us to board member comments. We can start down at the end. Kyle?
Nothing crazy. Like Michael said, congrats to the ladies today on their win. But I also want to congrats to the boys team as they made that all the way to the sub-state finals. A pretty impressive year for them for kind of coming off that. It's always hard to follow up a state championship with what you think is a successful season, and in my opinion, it was extremely successful with another conference title. But then just it's a program that has great culture and great tradition. So I want to congrats to them, and for the next meeting, hopefully we'll have a state championship with the young ladies. So thank you.
Mr. Borman?
I just wanted to just share the school district there was a program that was in place called the National Chips Challenge, and we had put together a application for this, and this was to seek some funding to help us support activities that we were going to be doing at in the new CETE edition and with our ag programs. And so we put together some good work, a good application. I want to thank the team that worked on it. It was fantastic. Kind of in cooperation with that, we had pulled together some folks from the ag industry, some different businesses to help come in and discuss our curriculum, and again, trying to make sure that we as North Polk are delivering to the students, to all of our students, the right opportunities in the ag space. We were down selected to a finalist pool of 36, and Michael, I don't know, do you have any idea how many applications went in for this thing? I've never heard a number, so I don't know.
I never heard a number, but we were the only Iowa school that was still in.
So down selected to 36, only school district in the state of Iowa that was in that pool of 36. So that was all fantastic news. We were really excited to then go into the next phase and see what we potentially could end up getting out of that program to then be able to turn around and direct back to our students. Unfortunately, we had gotten an email last week that the program was cut and the funding was no longer going to be available to us or any school districts that were participating, which was really unfortunate. Again, we, as in our current scenario where funding is a challenge, we as a district have been actively seeking and looking for additional opportunities, ways to, again, provide the absolute best educational experience that we can for all the students that walk through our doors. And this was just one of those many ways that we've been trying to be creative and help provide that. And so it is unfortunate that program was turned off and the funding was taken away with a simple email, but that's the reality of the situation. So we will continue to seek any opportunities. I guess I asked the community if you hear about different programs, things that we as a district could potentially take advantage of. Sometimes it's hard to know where all those opportunities are, but we definitely are actively looking. So if people have ideas or see anything that we as a district could potentially take advantage of or submit or put together applications for, we would definitely like to know that. But I did want to at least congratulate the team, and it was fantastic to be down selected to a group of 36 across the U.S.
Thank you, Mr. Borman. Mr. Aker?
So as we, Kyle brought it up earlier, we entered into postseason with the boys and girls, and I've really had some strong feelings about this over the last 4 years since I've been on the board, and finally I'm going to actually take a stand on it. I'm just going to kind of read something that I put together regarding our athletics. Iowa is the only state where boys and girls high school sports are governed by two separate organizations, the IHSAA and the IGHSAU. This structure has deep historical roots, particularly in promoting girls' athletics, and that tradition is important. However, during my time as a North Polk board member, it has become clear that this split system creates real challenges today. Families face different streaming platforms, inconsistent ticket pricing, and unequal viewing experiences for similar events. The quality of coverage, pricing, and access can widely vary between the two, leading to confusion and frustration. We are also duplicating operations that 49 other states have streamlined, from media rights, event planning, resulting in inefficiencies and missed opportunities for a unified partnerships and promotion. Most importantly, these differences create perception of inequality that undermines the equal value we place in all student athletes. This isn't about abandoning tradition, it's about ensuring fairness, modern accesses, and a better experience for students, families, and fans. Thank you.
Thank you to the three of you for your great comments this evening. I don't have anything to add, which takes us to item 9, closed session per Iowa Code 21.5 for superintendent evaluation. A motion and a second to enter closed session.
Motion to enter closed session per Iowa Code 21.5, 1 sub I, to evaluate professional competency for superintendent evaluation.
Second.
Borman and Eicher, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll enter closed session. Thank you, everyone.